want to start a video blog talking about how we the people can change the current system, corporate state, or billionaire class controlling everything. I think the first thing is that we need to really educate ourselves, and not saying learning from mainstream media. You can watch a little bit, but actually look at alternative medias and actual reporting from the street, for example, talking to people, really understand, for example, like Venezuela crisis, really what is happening there, why we want to go in and overthrow the government like we've been doing in the past. If you in the college or school, if you had written some reports, you might want to do a little bit of that. If you have time to really understand the objective of certain things, the pro and con, and what are the facts, what are not, what are propaganda, what are your sources of stuff, are they credible sources and things like that. The second point is that I think, in my opinion, new changes have to start from the bottom up, like Bernie Sanders said. So it have to start from your local, your city level, state level. If you want to implement something, you have to organize and contact your representatives, lobbying and things like that. You have to learn how to do that, because I don't think we've done enough. It's important that we organize and start changes from the local level successfully. Otherwise, like teacher strike, that would be a good example of changes that empowering the people instead of private corporations or bought out politicians. So this is the big thing. Like I'm in California, we still need to implement a lot of new programs for, like, Medicare for all and free college education up to graduate level at least. Of course, we have to look at the financial side of it, and we need to probably know how to manage resources and money to get these programs going instead of spending in other wasteful projects. I would recommend you to follow some really good individuals or experts from the internet or YouTube. Hedges is one of them. Hedges, Noam Chomsky, Professor Richard Wolff, and many more. Gerald Celante, even as far as economy, maybe listen to Ron Paul and Peter Shiff. But again, use your own judgment and what is makes sense, what doesn't make sense. I guess as Americans or people of the world, we need to be able to think for ourselves. Very important, and to do analysis or critical thinking. So those are at least some of the people I follow. I also like Jimmy Dore, funny and very informative, and I like the way he reporting with some entertainment. That's some of the people that I like you to follow. So will encourage you folks to join groups, organizations that share your common values. Be active, because I really like yellow vests in France that actually push agendas and got their agendas implemented successfully. The French is kind of amazing. I think we need yellow vests here to really change the systems for the 99% of the people, which is if we create the capitalist system where it's so bad that it creates billionaires, but then leave the bottom struggle. That's not a good system, or it need to be sort of modified or changed. But of course, the billionaire class, the greedy one, I'm sure there's some good ones right out there but the greedy one, have been working on this for decades to control, just more like, become like kings and queens, of the old monarchy days. But now we have billionaire class, big corporations, doing actually more damage than kings and queens, I believe. That is globally, including climate and everything, driving people to poverty, driving people out of their land, create dirty water and pollutions and things like that without, without fixing them. They just leave the mess for taxpayer to clean them up, for example. So we need to organize from the bottom up. And then I'm just thinking, let's say if you like Green Party or whatever, put a little green flag in front of your for on America. Put something like symbol that, hey, we need changes, like green flag for like Green Party or something like that, or in front of your business. If, I think that will create a lot of momentum, even though, each of us might be working very hard, spending a lot of hours working, but we can do little things symbolically at least to make changes. Put stickers on your car that, you're supporting Bernie Sanders. Well, I have to say I voted for Bernie's before. So, or whoever, or whatever causes you like, at least, to show the, hey, corporation put billboard and advertising everywhere. So people should be able to do the same thing. It doesn't cost a lot of money and time. So do that. So, well, I will throw in the third one is have to do with schools and overall environment where people are encouraged to discuss about political, economical, environmental, and social issues in school. I think a lot of materials in school is too much focus on technology and career, but not enough on other things like money, economy, how do we buy and sell houses and car, and some of the basic, I would say, how to live each day without, or happily without getting into problems, or make bad decisions and things like that, So those are the basic stuff that I think schools should be taught and encourage discussions among kids, versus just test, standardized test, which is, I don't think is, as you can see, it's just a lot of pressure to the teacher and student, but not really learning anything practical or build anything practical. So I encourage, instead of stop talking about these things, encourage in positive manner discussion and learning or workshops in school, or even companies, if you can, have some of these workshops and inform people and have people, share their experience and opinions on these important topics of our nation. And again, the more people are informed and take actions, right? The better the country going to be. Without actions, we're just going to be pushed down by big money corporations, because they have a lot of resources. They control the media, they control the government. Yeah, there's a lot of hard work that people have to do, and we're not really organized yet, but I'm seeing more and more teacher protests. I think if we can incorporate those groups into a bigger one, and then run it as a, big, maybe call it international democracy network or something, and start fundraising, and so we have money to help out with different groups, different social problems or agendas, healthcare related, even having our own media to promote through democracy, in workplace, like, teach people how to start up worker-owned corporations or worker cooperatives, for example, where there would be a very flat hierarchy of organization, less management, because I think too much management can cause a lot of waste, a lot of problems, a lot of politics unnecessary. So I prefer very flat organization in workplace. I did earlier a video on that, and encourage workers to become more empowerment, have freedom to make decisions and form their own committees and form their own projects and responsible for business success, instead of hiring two layers of manager. The problem with managers is that they come in and they don't know, and they come up with all of these new projects that a lot of time are not fruitful or are not successful or just waste of money. Especially in public sector, I see a lot of too many projects, and whether it would be good for, I guess, for vendors or corporations to sell stuff, but I see a lot of projects just get scrapped, or just too many projects that employees cannot handle. Just too much learning curve or whatever. So be careful of. I don't think complex layer of management is good or needed at all. You empower employee to do their own project management, and pay them better, pay them well, of course, and have them accountable for overall company performance and things like that. I think that would be better. So I guess that my third recommendation to change the school, have school start discussing more or learning more about politics, the real politics, the current politics, not the textbook politics that is old, the real stuff with up-to-date information. Internet is a great resource for all of this information. There's no reason we need to go back to we have to go back to old texts because they're probably outdated and they're not reflect of what's going on right now with a lot of special interests going on. So students have to be up to date on the news, not just study just for their career alone. So hope that helps.